Hello everybody, welcome to a workshop that will hopefully help you better understand the concept of revision. I am going to ask you to be open-minded and experimental in this workshop, so please do everything that I ask you to do, and trust me, there's a big payoff at the end. Okay, are you ready? Let's go. For this activity you need the following things. You need an egg, please make sure it's a raw egg, a small bowl to put your egg in. You'll need a pen or a pencil and probably about 4 pieces of paper. So please get those items and then come on back to the workshop. Okay, for the first part of the workshop, I would like you to put the egg in the bowl and please don't touch it. After all, raw eggs are very fragile and break very easily, so I really want you to be very careful with your egg. In fact, don't even touch it at all. Just put it in the bowl and leave it there. Then next, I'd like you just to look at the egg. And your job is to make 25 observations of this egg. And I'd like you to record your 25 observations of your egg on a piece of paper. So pause this video, stare at your egg, and make your 25 observations. Please don't stop until you've made 25 observations. When you've done that, come on back to the workshop. Great. Now I want to have you get a little bit more daring with your egg. So I'd like you to pick up your egg, and I'd like you to do whatever you want with that egg. I'd like you to hold it, roll it, smell it if you want to. Do whatever you want with the egg. Ultimately, though, what I'd like you to do is crack it open. But before you do, spend a little time with your egg. Roll it around, see what sounds it makes when it rolls around. And then when you're all done kind of exploring with it, go ahead and crack it open. You can have it cracked open into the bowl. After you've done some of those things, what I'd like you to do is write down 25 new observations about your egg. Now that you've done all these things to it, please add 25 new observations to your egg, and do not repeat any of your observations you've made so far about this egg. So pause this video and take this next step. I would absolutely encourage you to have fun doing this. When you're ready and you've finished your 25 new observations, come on back to the workshop. Okay, I want to do a couple more things with your egg. I'd like you to review your list of observations so that your head is full of all these eggy thoughts. And then I'd like you to be serious for a moment, and I'd like you to make a list of 3 memories, the first 3 or any 3 that pop into your head when you think of egg or any egg. It doesn't have to be the egg that's sitting in front of you in the bowl. What I'd like you to do is, as you are thinking of your memories, I'd like you to write them down on your paper. So they could be any memories at all that come to your mind when you think about your egg in the bowl or any eggs at all. So pause the screen and really try to think, dig through your brain and come up with 3 memories, and just jot them down on your list of observations. When you're ready, come on back to the workshop. I want to keep going with this egg because I think it's starting to get really good. So again, review your list of observations and your 3 memories. Then I'd like you to dig a little deeper inside of your brain and work a little harder. I'd like you to make 3 comparisons using your egg. So for example, I'm going to give you mine. My egg is like a record because it is easily broken. Ha ha ha. So it can be a funny comparison if you like, or it can be a serious comparison. Just be sure that you're making some sort of comparison to anything else using your egg. Okay? So this step will take you a little bit of time, but please work hard and come up with some creative or interesting comparisons using your egg. When you're done, write your comparisons on your paper, and then come on back to this workshop. Okay, here's the last one, I promise. I'd like you to review your list, your observations, your memories, and your comparisons, and then I'd like you to answer these questions as honestly as you can. What makes your egg so interesting? Think of the most important thing you discovered about your egg today. Think about what you learned about your egg as you work through this exercise. What egg insights surprised you the most? And I'd like you to spend some time with these questions. And again, here's where you're really going to be open-minded, but really think about these questions seriously and come up with your best answers to show some of your thinking. And when you're all done with these 3 questions, come on back to the workshop. Okay, so what does all this egg stuff have to do with revision? Well, I'd like you to come along with me as I make this comparison for you. I'd like you to imagine that the egg in the bowl is like your first draft. It is also fragile, and you may feel like it could easily break if you do anything at all to it. But then, you did do something to it. You took a risk and picked up the egg. So next imagine that letting the egg out of the bowl takes the same kind of abandon and bravery, I would say, as letting go of a first draft. Think about what happened when you rolled the egg, or smelled the egg, or even when you cracked it open. Let me push this egg comparison just a little bit more. Maybe at first you were hesitant to crack the egg, but once you did, I imagine you started to notice new things about the egg. This is exactly what happens when you let go of a first draft and crack it open so that you can see what else is in there. What ideas were still trapped inside, just waiting to be set free. And I'm going to bet that when you look at your list of egg observations, your egg memories, and your egg comparisons, your best ideas weren't the first ones on your list. If I'm wrong, you can let me know. But my bet is that the best ideas, the ones that surprised you most or made you think more deeply about the egg, didn't come until the end of the activity. Revising works like this too. As soon as you are brave enough to crack open a first draft, the real work and the real magic of revision begins. So, the word revision actually means to re-see. Writers spend their whole careers getting better and better at re-seeing their writing because they want to get better and better at communicating their ideas to their readers. And by the way, if I actually owned this pin, I would be wearing it every day because I truly and deeply love to revise. And I think most experienced writers will tell you the same thing. There's such a big payoff when you truly, deeply revise a piece of writing. So here's my favorite definition of revision. It's actually from a book by Toby Fulweiler, who is one of my favorite people to read. Rewriting is about expanding ideas, trying experiments, and taking risks. It is also chancy, unpredictable, laborious, and frustrating, and impossible to do if you don't make time for it. But in every way, it makes your writing better. Again, I'm going to pull back the egg, and I want you to really think about what you were feeling when you were cracking the egg or doing silly things with it, and then really think about how doing all those crazy things with your egg did lead you to hopefully different insights about the egg. The same thing will happen to your writing if you are able to take risks and try some things that may lead you in unpredictable ways into your paper. So let's see. If you are doing any of these things to your writing, you are cracking the egg and revising. So if you're doing these types of things, if you're rethinking the focus, like you're letting go of the first idea you had and the overall organization of your paper, that's revising. If you're exploring a new idea that hadn't even occurred to you until you reread your first draft, that's revising. Expanding on an idea that isn't fully developed is definitely revising your first draft. And of course, creating a new title or introduction or conclusion for your essay is certainly revising. So making changes that makes your essay better reach your target audience is also definitely revising. So I hope that this workshop has helped you better understand what it means to revise, and I hope you had a little fun along the way. I also want to give some credit. I learned about this eggy activity from this book that you see here, Elements of Alternate Style by Wendy Bishop, who's amazing. And inside her book, she had a collection of essays. And one of the essays I read, it was called 13 Ways of Looking at an Egg. So the workshop that I did with you all today is an adapted version of the activity that Elise Coulain developed. All right, I hope this was an enjoyable workshop. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.